With us now, former federal prosecutor Shan Wu, former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, Barrett Berger. Ladies first is the rule here, Shan. I know you understand. Barrett, as I'm reading this, and I am not a lawyer, but you say that you're not going to rent something. You get favorable interest rates because of that. You say it's going to be a secondary residence, and then you claim on your taxes rental income. How is that not an open and shut case?
Well, we'll have to see what the actual evidence is. I mean, it is a much stronger seeming indictment with far more information included than we saw, for example, with the Comey indictment. We at least know what the charges are, what the evidence underlying them is. But for prosecutors to show a mortgage fraud scheme like this, I mean, remember, there's no actual mortgage fraud statute, so they've charged a bank fraud here. So they have to show that she made some sort of a material misstatement on her application and that it was intentional, that it wasn't a mistake. So, you know, this does seem to present a strong case. But again, we don't know all the evidence that the defense counsel will present. But I will say this is, you know, the kind of case that prosecutors' offices across the country bring every day. Mortgage fraud is sort of the bread and butter of a lot of these offices. And some of these, you know, some of these schemes can be pretty complex, but some of them are pretty straightforward.
Jen, the irony here, right, is that she is accused of signing this affidavit and therefore getting more favorable interest rates. And that is sort of exactly what she alleged that Donald Trump had done and said that he had gotten preferential interest rates and therefore it was a crime and she wanted to go after him. What's good for the goose should be good for the gander?
Yeah, scale's a little bit different, Willen, but I'm sure that irony is not lost upon the president and why he was pushing so hard for this to happen. So I think, you know, I agree that the proof's going to be in the pudding in terms of the actual evidence of rental income. The allegations sound like that's what they're alleging, you know, and if they can prove that, then that should be a pretty easy case. I will say that the amount of the forfeiture and the amount that she gained
she got ill-gotten gains of approximately $18,000, $19,000 over 30 years.
Right, right.
Although she is conceivably held to a higher standard.
Sure, absolutely.
Here's her response today.
Yeah.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost.
Barrett, I'll give you the last 30 seconds. Does that prove wise as a defense attorney to have your client out there talking like that?
My personal view is it's never a good idea to have your client speaking outside of court. It really should be the attorneys at this point. And you know what she's saying is this was vindictive or selective prosecution. She'll have a chance to make that motion in court. And by the way, that motion has nothing to do with whether or not she's guilty of the underlying offense. Even if she's guilty, she could still prevail on some sort of a selective prosecution motion. So she's really previewing her defense at this moment.
Seen Comey doing the same thing. Shan Wu, thank you very much. Barrett as well. Appreciate you guys being here.